Picture a 17-year-old boy, a school dropout in Bangalore from 20 years ago, not particularly smart, not too educated, and no capital at hand. Bangalore from 20 years ago was a lot quieter, greener, without the vibrance that one might associate with Bangalore today. The fact that I'm able to stand here today in front of all of you, people I have idolized for so long, that opportunity to me has been incredible, and that to me is the India story. I often hear people talking about what India could be 10 years from now, what needs to change, or the fact that we will arrive in 10 years, in 5 years, or a certain period of time from today. I think we are standing too close to the trees and not seeing the forest, because the India I am in today, that is the India that to me has already arrived. The opportunities the country threw to a 17-year-old boy, again with no education, no capital, or exceptionally smart, this, in my view, has not happened forever. The last 10 years have been incredible, and I'm not the only exception here in India. There are many other exceptions like me. We all hang out. We call this the startup ecosystem of India. The big change in India from the last decade, in my opinion, also has been that entrepreneurship has moved from something that we have all watched around us, heard in movies, or thought could happen, something that we aspire to entrepreneurship today, which is something that we all are actively trying. You could take an example of this being a housewife watching Shark Tank, a small-time shoe salesman selling online on Flipkart. These are not stories that existed 10 years ago. To that one man in the audience here today, who in my opinion has facilitated this stable ecosystem for people like me to thrive, and millions of other who we call the youth of India to thrive, I would like to say thank you, Modi ji, for having created this ecosystem for all of us. Growing up, I used to talk to people, that one relative in my family who went abroad, studied, and did very well. Traveling to the West seemed to be the best thing that could happen to anybody. Today, when I talk to Indians in the West who have done very well, the only thing I hear from them, it's a very young word. I call it FOMO, the fear of missing out. They're talking about India as the story that they fear missing out today. That change which has happened in the last 10 years is so evident to see that it makes me feel proud. It makes me feel like I'm in the right place at the right time, and that place today is India. I often ask people, if their life was a book, what would they call the current chapter? It's a good question for all of us to ask ourselves. When I look at India and I ask myself, what would be this chapter in the book of India? The first word that came up in my mind was arrived. And finally, as I stand here in a room full of politicians, diplomats, dignitaries, mentors, I don't look upon this ecosystem as potential, as the way I'm looking at this today is we're all potential partners in a story that could change the global economic landscape today, and that story is India. And to all the foreign investors here, India is seemingly looking like the coolest party in town. I think what you need to be aware of is if you arrive too late, you might not get in. So I'd like to thank everybody. Thank Modi ji for this opportunity. Thank you, everyone.